Hi, my name is Rachel McLean. I work for Acumen Network. We're a service user and carer network across the west of Scotland, and we support people who use mental health services to become involved in talking about how those services could improve. I was invited here to talk about mental health at work as part of Mental Health Awareness Week. So we started off by looking at what the gold standard of mental and physical and emotional health is, and we started off by saying that it's where everybody can fulfill their potential, be part of their community, to work, to live, to love unity, and good mental health is a big part of that. We're looking at mental health in Scotland in particular. So we know that between 2012 and 2015 about 1 in 6 adults said that they had experienced a mental health condition or a symptom of a mental health condition. So we know that between 2012 and 2015 about 1 in 6 adults in Scotland reported a symptom of a mental health condition. We know that in 2016 there were 697 suicides in Scotland, and this is a figure that's coming down over time, but still a very high figure in Western Europe. And one of the reasons for that is that we need to get better at talking about mental health. We need to talk better about talking about stress, anxiety, and things that make us worried. And things like this are a good way of bringing knowledge about mental health and emotional well-being to the forefront of people's minds and bringing that suicide rate down. In Scotland, mental health problems cost over $2 billion a year to employers, and that is due to sickness, absences and presenteeism. And that's the idea that we come to work when we're not coping well, we're not able to function at the best of our ability, and that leads to a high turnover of staff. So I wanted to talk to people about what's good about work. So work is great because it gives us a sense of purpose, a sense of identity. It can give us training, it can give us self-esteem, it's part of who we are, and it provides an income. So work is really good for our mental health, and it's especially good if we've had a period of mental ill health to get back into work, to feel that we're contributing to life again. But work can also be a source of stress, and some of those can be about workload and pressure, problems with colleagues, bullying. They can be the work-life balance that we have, where work takes over and we're not enjoying other aspects of our life. One of the issues around work can be that there is a stigma associated with talking about mental health and well-being, which means that we hide our emotional problems, and that makes work very stressful to be in. Having a physical health problem and trying to cope with work can make work quite stressful. And also the biggest one is that life outside of work can have an impact on how we approach work and how easy it is for us to do our job. So whereas work is very, very good for our mental health, there are also things about work that can make it very difficult. And if we think about that, it's like, how can we manage stress and anxiety in work? So think about some of the common symptoms of stress. They can be things like heart palpitations, feeling sick, feeling like there's a knot in your stomach, the idea that you're constantly worried, that you can't really concentrate or pick a task, that you've got so many balls in the air, you're juggling, but you're not actually doing any one thing particularly well. And all those things can make you feel very critical of yourself and more worried, and stress feeds on stress. It's important to think that stress is a normal reaction to sometimes complicated things in life, and stress should go away over time. It should help you to achieve your goals, and then it should not get in the way of living a normal life. So if we think about stress when we're getting married, it's normal to feel worried or stressed out in the plan up to the day, but if stress ruins your big day, then stress is overtaken, it's impacting on your life. So if we're feeling like this at work, it's important, first of all, to recognise feelings of stress and to take action, because if we leave stress, it can lead to chronic mental health problems, depression, anxiety, and in the worst cases can contribute to feelings of suicide. So how do we manage stress? First of all, we recognise the symptoms and we identify what triggers the feelings. a lot of the time we can't avoid the things that cause stress, but we can perhaps change the way that we approach them and how we put things into place to deal with that. We need to start asking for help. We need to start acknowledging that we're stressed and saying to people, I actually need to take a bit of time to manage my stress. We can change the way we think about problems on its head. So instead of making a list of problems, thinking what you haven't done, what you haven't achieved, what you've done wrong today, what went wrong, it's maybe taking a moment to change the perspective and thinking, well, what did I do well today? What did I get done? What did I achieve? What am I looking forward to about tomorrow? And if we spend a bit of time trying to change negative thoughts into positive ones, it goes some way to help mitigate stressful feelings. Part of it is about creating a culture about stress management as well. So if people are saying to you they're stressed, it might be that we encourage an environment where we take our breaks, where we spend a bit of time making space for people to talk, and being kind to yourself and your colleagues is a big important. It's important to acknowledge what's good for you, what works for you, and what keeps you well. We've looked at Mind Apples, and Mind Apples is based on the idea that we know that 5 fruit and veg a day is good for us physical health and keeps the doctor away. So think about what 5 things that are good for your mental health, and try and prioritise those things.